your entire time in the Bundesliga, you've only really known one champion, and that's Bayern Munich. You see what's unfolding this year. Do you think Leverkusen can do it?
I think they're doing a fantastic job. I said it after the first game we played against them. We lost 3-2, but I said, what a team. And they're just getting better and better. But yeah, let's see. I think they're great challengers. Leipzig as well. I think it's a lot to play for. You have some good teams up there. But I think in the end, it's going to be between Leipzig, Leverkusen and Bayern. And I think I'm glad it's that way, that it's not only Bayern every year, even if they win sometimes, but we need a more exciting ends to the season. And I think this year is going to be really, really exciting.
What is it about Xabi Alonso's team tactically that's just so difficult to play against?
Yeah, I mean, they're just finding the right spaces, putting small passes to open up that space. I think he got time to bring his idea into the team. You could see it already last year a little bit, but this year especially, you can see that they're understanding, doing what he wants to do, and it's fantastic football.
You mentioned you see Bayern every year. Is that a bad thing for the Bundesliga?
Sometimes, of course, if you only have one winner, it's in the end not fun. But I think now every team is developing more and more, and Bayern has always had fantastic players. It's an incredible club. But I mean, now with Leverkusen and us trying to be better and better every year, Dortmund as well, hopefully it can be like this, the way it is now, that it's even, that it's until the last game, like it was last year with Dortmund and Bayern, because everybody wants that. You don't want Bayern, for example, champions with 5 games left. You know, it's not fun for everyone, except the Bayern fans.
Just a reminder, this is how the bookies have things set. Bayern Munich are still 3-1 on to go and win yet another title, but Bayer Leverkusen will fancy themselves certainly the way they started the season under Xabi Alonso. Is it fair to say that aside from Bayern Munich fans, everyone else wants them to lose, Jan?
Yes and no. Of course, when you're winning so many times, you want another winner. That is also about the brand of Bundesliga. But it's also a fact, and that need to be sorted. A lot of Germans have Bayern as their second favorite team, you know. Yeah. So, and every player want to go there. And there's a lot of things that the love of English football fans, they don't understand what's going on there. The thing is now, it's quite interesting. This is interesting to follow. Just see how many Leverkusen key persons are linked to Bayern. We have started with Wirtz. Bayern may be interested in Wirtz, maybe interesting in Alonso, maybe interesting in Boniface, and so on and so on. A good old trick from Bayern. The problem is that Emil Forsberg is saying, and as a Norwegian, I have to love a Swede as our neighbor, of course. but what he does say is that Leverkusen, Leipzig are developing. The problem for German football is that Bayern are developing as well. So many players take the next step. I think they're not finished yet with their buying in this transfer window as well. And with Harry Kane, I mean, when Harry Kane comes there and do all these vital goals and many goals, that is quite hard to develop quicker. Let's put it that way.
Well, of course, we saw today Harry Kane's former teammate, Eric Dyer, make that loan move from Spurs to join Bayern Munich. This is only until the end of the season, but I don't think it's something we would expect. Of course, we've been discussing it over the last couple of weeks. It was a surprise then. It has been confirmed now. This is what Thomas Tuchel had to say about the latest addition to his squad. He's a specialist at centre-back. Wow. He has also played as a number 6 in the Premier League, but not anymore for a long time. We're getting him for the centre-back position. He can play right or left centre-back as well as in the back 3. We got him mainly so Leon Goretzka can be free to play in midfield and doesn't have to switch to centre-back anymore. Regarding other positions, well, we'll see what happens. What do you make of this deal, Jan?
Well, first of all, I think we have to go back to why he's not playing at Tottenham. They say that he can't play if you have a high pressure because then they're vulnerable at the space behind them, like Bayern. So that is quite interesting. But we also know that Bayern have been struggling to get that centre-back. There a bit the lack of numbers there. Boateng, good old Boateng, is still around training with the second team, but for private reasons, they didn't want to sign him, so they'd be desperate to find someone. And I guess Harry Kane wanted to have a friend there as well. I mean, we can laugh about that, but I think that is vital as well.
This is all on Thomas Tuchel, Jan?
Not all on Thomas Tuchel, but they kind to give him the thing that every English player linked to Bayern is his wish, because he stayed in England. Of course, I think this is more on Freund, Christoph Freund, because this is his first transfer window, so to say. A friend of mine who is very into Bayern said that this could be Daily Blind 2-0. 2-0, the new version, and he wasn't very successful at Bayern. Having said that, I mean, how hard can it be to play defender at Bayern, because they always got the ball, don't they?
I know, Meccano's made it look hard work, hasn't he, over the last few months. Overall, is Eric Dyer going to be part of this Bayern Munich side that is going to come back and once again win the title?
If that's the case, then Bayern are in trouble. If they're depending on Eric Dyer to be the defender that is the difference between them winning a title or not, then we have a different conversation in our hands. Eric Dyer is there for numbers, is there for depth, is there as an option, but not as the answer. You still got to get the answer from Kim Min-jae, of course, Dayot Upamecano, Matthias de Ligt. Is he ever going to get healthy? Is he ever going to get fit? Those are the guys that are going to get the priority. And if one of those guys is not available, then Eric Dyer moves up in the chain, I suppose. But he is not, and I mean not, the answer to any of the issues that Bayern Munich has defensively currently.
How's Harry Kane feeling, Shaq?
Well,
4 points behind. He moves to Bayern, and they can write this
Eric
as
Dyer shows up on his doorstep. Listen, to Jan's point, the only thing that makes sense here is that Harry Kane has a countryman now in the dressing room. Otherwise, nothing about this makes an awful lot of sense to me. I do not think Eric Dyer is a good centre-back at all. I think he's actually better playing as his six, as a defensive midfielder. But then Thomas Tuchel is speaking about, well, I'm playing him as a centre-back. So much of it just doesn't add up. Other than, well, we have a player who we can use maybe in multiple positions. If we have injuries, if we decide to rotate, we have somebody that we can just plug in if we so desire. Otherwise, I don't see how this adds to Bayern Munich at all.
Let me throw something out there when it comes to the number 6 position. That is something that Thomas Tuchel has said, we don't have that guy, even though Joshua Kimmich is there. We don't have that guy. In the best 2 performances that Bayern Munich has had this season, the common denominator is Joshua Kimmich wasn't playing. He was suspended and he was out ill. It's going to be interesting to see on Friday where Joshua Kimmich is actually starting as in the central midfield for Bayern Munich. There has been some speculation and conversation that Kimmich would be put as a right back, and that indeed it would be Konrad Laimer and Pavlovic, or a combination of Rafael Guerreiro and Konrad Laimer and Leon Goretzka that will play in the midfield. That's some of the conversation that is going on. The reason as to why he kind of dismisses the possibility of Eric Dyer playing as a number 6 is because he would only add more to the conversation and the speculation as to what happens with Joshua Kimmich. And for those that do not know, Joshua Kimmich carries a lot of weight at Bayern Munich. And so therefore, how he treats this situation and how he handles the situation will go a long way in determining the success of Thomas Tuchel and Bayern Munich this season.